And one sector that's still trying to charge up despite everything we've been describing, high fossil fuel prices, the big push by the administration towards clean energy and all the rest of it. Look at the EV stocks still lagging the market this year. Several key names, the S&P's up about 20%, Tesla's down 5%, Fisker's down about 10%, and Lordstown's down about 65%. Lucid also declining since its SPAC debut in July. The stock heading lower since then. You can see the time frame there. The big spike earlier was when the SPAC acquisition was announced. It's seeing a nice pop today, though, after BofA Global Research called it the Tesla/Ferrari of EV automakers. And John Murphy, who covers autos for Bank of America, is here with me now. John, welcome.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
So Lucid hasn't delivered any cars yet, correct? The last I saw, they had about 10,000 pre-orders. And from what I read, the most expensive version that they make has a range of like 500 miles on one charge. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's one of the key metrics is the miles per kilowatt hour. I think that's one of the things that Peter Rawlinson brings to the table is sort of a new view of how you measure efficiency and productivity of the battery, but also the powertrain. So that 500-mile range, vehicle is sort of a testament to them being able to put up, 4.5 to 5 miles per kilowatt hour, where you have Tesla at 4 miles per kilowatt hour, and everybody else is at about 3 miles per kilowatt hour or less. So not only is it a high-priced vehicle, but it is a technologically advanced vehicle that will bleed into the other vehicles they offer over time.
And we've seen a lot of hype in the EV space, obviously, but the reason why people, yourself included, like this name is because the CEO did that work on the Tesla Model S, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, he was the chief engineer on the Model S, arguably through the entire program. So, as you look at these companies, they're early stage companies. So judging their success and viability, I mean, obviously we're financially modeling these companies, but you also have to take a leap of faith and a view on the management team and their experience and their ability to execute. And we'll get a good view into that as we go to see the Arizona plant in about 2 weeks. We're really looking forward to seeing how the production ramp is really working here.
So obviously, we can't talk about any PE ratios yet for this name. The valuation being what it is one of the reasons why people have been concerned about the stock underperforming a little bit this year. Your $30 price objective is sort of a 3x EV to sales ratio, to put that in just some context for the rest of the space. But the real question that I'm interested in is, when you look at the valuation that Tesla commands and the technology it's working on under the hood for self-driving, whether or not it comes to fruition, is Lucid, do these companies have to play in that sort of high-end computing space in order to command Tesla-like valuations? Or will they otherwise be relegated to just another EV maker, even if it's a really nice one?
Well, I think it's going to be a really nice EV maker, auto manufacturer over time and be very successful. I think the question on the success on AVs is, it's not really binary at the moment, and it's still a very open-ended question whether Tesla really has the best technology, or the companies like GM that actually have vehicles running around San Francisco without test drivers in them anymore. Are they really ahead? And that may mean that Lucid could be behind on the AV front, would need to spend or buy to catch up there. But I think the core platform of the vehicle itself is where Lucid is really going to succeed and really outstrip a lot of the competition, and where they'll be really successful. On the AV side, still a very open-ended question is who the winners are really going to be and what that really means over time.
Sure, and it's certainly far off, like you said, and I think the points about GM are extremely relevant here. I guess just a final question about batteries. How are they able to deliver that kind of range on a battery similarly sized to Tesla? Why shouldn't we expect Tesla and others to eventually catch up?
So there's a hyper focus on batteries in basically 100 kilowatt per hour cost going down over time and getting to $50 to $75 to break through and actually being cheaper than an ICE vehicle. But ultimately, there's also the powertrain and the efficiency of how you get that electricity to the wheels, and ultimately the aerodynamics of the vehicle. So that's one thing that I think Peter is very unique on, is saying, hey, listen, I can use a similarly sized battery and have a much longer range, or maybe actually have a smaller battery that's less expensive and have a similar range. And I think that the discussion here is going to morph outside of just the pure battery itself, get a lot more into the efficiency of the powertrain and the aerodynamics of the vehicle to help ease the pressure on battery advancements. And I think that's a really key point here for Lucid that people really need to understand. There's a whole lot more than just the battery at Lucid.